Let's go ahead and duplicate our top clip and let's take off our cross dissolve and let's zoom out here and let's create a mask. So I'm going to hit um, the square and the mask under opacity to create a new masking layer. And now we can actually scale this up. So if you can see here, what this is doing is now we can do something interesting. So I'm going to turn off our crossfade and I'm going to only focus on what we're doing with the mask. Now, if I turn up this feathering, and what we have now is this overlay shot of where we're going to transition to only appearing at this really cool part of the image that actually makes a lot of sense for this kind of thing. So masks are really great for selectively adding certain elements in parts of your frame that you can like frame things inside of doorways, inside of windows, inside of a coffee mug, whatever creates a frame around it. That's a good time to mask and use that natural part of the image that's already framed and create something cool editing wise. So let's go ahead and start to keyframe our expansion. This is gonna tell the editing software how much to spread out the mask that we already have. So I'm gonna hit it at 0 at the very beginning and go here and go to, let's say, 100%. And then what that does is that kind of style of transition. Now that's looking a little bit cheesy, so let's go ahead and feather this out as much as we can. Okay. And let me adjust some of where our mask starts. This way the feather is just going to equally fill the entire frame. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but let's go ahead and fix that. Turn this down. And let's go ahead and add a fade in. Now, because like, for example, the sky disappears and it kind of creates a really big shift, I think what we can do here is duplicate this mask layer. Let's go ahead and delete this mask. Let's turn off this layer below it real quick and let's try something. So let's create a new mask and let's drag it to the top of our image. Now, I'm going to scale this down so I can, move this mask around properly. And let's go ahead and take off this cross dissolve. So now what you can see is we have just the top of our nighttime image. I'm going to feather this out just a bit. Bring this mask down. And now that doesn't look so good, but there's something we're going to do here. Let's go ahead and create some keyframes with our mask layer. So I'm going to go to mask path. I'm going to go to the beginning. I'm going to hit a keyframe and I'm going to drag this all the way over here. And let's make this a little bit bigger. And let's go to where we want our edit to start coming into frame. And let's go to about here. And we know we're going to feather this, so we got to create a little bit of a bigger mask. And so now what we have is so it doesn't look so good right now, but this is going to create a lot more depth by having two different parts of the frame transition into our image at slightly separate times. Okay, yeah, trust me, edge feathering is everything. It makes such a big difference. So, okay, let's just fix this. And now drag this to the end. And we need to fix this. Okay, so it's not perfect. We don't want to obsess over the little bit of frames, but we just want the overall transition to look cool. Okay, and now we can even fade this one in and turn on the layer below it. So it could use a little bit of fine tuning, but it's still a lot more unique than just a simple crossfade. Now, that's a great way to use masks in different parts of your image to overlay and bring in a shot slowly and in a much more stylized way. So we have this transition that we've been working on. Now what I'm going to do is highlight both of these clips, and I'm going to show you how to bring these into After Effects to create a little bit more of a stylized look and have a little bit more control. So I'm going to right click those clips, hit open with an After Effects composition. It's going to automatically transfer these two video files into an After Effects comp. And I'm going to title this Showcase Video Transition. Okay, great. Now we have both of our shots. So what we're going to do is kind of a similar process of dragging over our shots so that there's more of an overlap. Now I'm going to go to this top layer and go to Effects and Presets, which is over here. And I'm going to type in Luma Key. I'm going to drag this onto our top layer. And what it is going to do is, just like in Premiere, it's going to remove our top layer. But the great thing about After Effects is that it allows for you to feather, which feathering is key, as you know by now. Feather this effect. So let's start first by creating a keyframe of the threshold. That's how much the effect is applied to our clip. And then I'm going to go to where I want the transition to end, roughly about right here. And I'm going to turn the threshold all the way up. Now you can see there's some part of the image that's not getting removed. Now we're going to fix this with a similar masking overlay kind of technique that we were doing in Premiere. But let's start by also adding an edge feather. Feathering is our best friend. This is going to create a lot more of a clean look. Ooh, look at that. It's already looking pretty cool. So let's go ahead and create an in point by hitting the letter B, create an out point by hitting the letter N. I'm going to hit Command 0 to start up a preview, and let's check it out. Okay, that's looking so good. Okay, perfect. So just in a few seconds there, it saved a lot of time. Now, I like the speed of the transition. It can even go a little bit slower, actually. I wouldn't mind that. For something like this that looks so cool, you don't want to speed it up too much. So I'm just going to drag this keyframe to start a little bit sooner and end a little bit later. Okay, now we have a little bit more time to enjoy this transition. And what I want to do is duplicate our bottom layer, which is the nighttime shot. And I want to fix this blip, this glitch that happens in the top. Because the exposure difference on this specific image, the sky is blown out, so there's no information there. And the filter, the Luma key filter, doesn't know it doesn't have any information, so it can't create the effect that we're wanting in this part of the frame. So we're going to have to kind of do that manually. So I'm going to take our bottom layer, I'm going to duplicate it, drag it to the top, right? But as you can see, now it's taking away our effect. So what we're going to do is turn this off for now by hitting the little eye icon right there on the left. And I want to create a mask layer. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and I want it to come across the screen from here and go whoosh, similar to what we did in Premiere. So what I'm going to do is hit Q for the mask tool. I'm going to create a square shape mask. I'm going to add a path keyframe at the beginning. I'm going to go to the end of the clip right as that transition's coming in. And where I want this to be finished, I'm going to select both of these nodes, these points, and I'm going to drag it across our clip. Now, if I turn this layer back on, you're going to see that we've replaced the sky. So as that comes in, whoosh, okay, great. So now we fixed that problem where now our sky comes in gradually. Before, the sky started to come in, and then it just all of a sudden was there. So we don't want that. So, okay, we have the sky coming in gradually. We duplicated that layer. Now we're going to use our best friend, which is, of course, the feathering tool. We're going to feather this up. I'm going to expand this a little bit. And now, let's see how that looks. Okay, cool. So that looks good. There's no glitchiness. It's starting to look really nice, but honestly, like the sky kind of comes in way too fast. We want this to feel more elegant. So let's extend the speed and slow down the quickness of this sky transition. Okay. And we can even fade in this sky transition so that the sky doesn't just wipe from white to black, but more comes in gradually. So let's go to, let's say about here. Let's hit the opacity icon, the stopwatch. We'll hit 100 right there, and then we'll go to the beginning of our clip, go to 0. Perfect. So that's a super cool looking transition. It's gradual, it's elegant, it's clean, it doesn't look over edited. It allows for us to transition from this daytime shot to this nighttime shot in a way that just looks cool. So that's how you do it in After Effects. This is a great way to transition between shots using masking to mask out specific parts of your image and using something like the Luma Key filter with our best friend, the edge feathering function, to really blend these two shots together. And that's the best way to do it.